What's going on, everybody? WILDMAN here, and I'm back at the gym today. And for today's strength giant set, I'm going to be starting off by doing the back squat. And the idea is to do 3 reps and to work up all the way to a 3 rep max. And as I'm going up on the back squat, I'm also going to be doing some ring pull-ups, because I believe pull-ups, no matter what kind of variation of the pull-up that you're doing, really prepares the upper back for that bar to sit on as it gets heavier. And I'm also going to be doing some weighted sit-ups as well, because I don't think there's anything better that prepares my core for the back squat than the weighted sit-up. And that's going to be the strength giant set for the day. Now, like I said, since I just mentioned core, the back squat, or any compound movement in that manner, is actually a core movement. Yes, they do involve a lot of technique. A compound movement, such as the back squat, like I'm demonstrating here, the deadlift, or the bench press, or even the overhead press, it involves a lot of technique, because there's a lot of little tiny muscles that are working, and they need to work together simultaneously in order for that weight to get up. However, all of these things would not be able to work very well if your core is weak. Your core must be strong, and that's because most compound movements are actually core exercises. Just like when we take the back squat, for example. The back squat is having your core hold that bar up, and as you go down into the hole and ascend back up out of it, that core needs to be strong in order for that barbell to move appropriately. Think of your core as kind of like a soda can, where it's closed and it's carbonated and it's actually fat, and you can stick a brick on there, or even like a really heavy hammer, or some people can even sit on a Coke can, and it won't break. But once you release that carbon dioxide and you pop it open, then immediately when all that pressure is released, that can folds in half like nothing. Even like the lightest thing that you stick on it might make that can fold in half. And that's because that pressurization is actually keeping that can very strong from collapsing in the middle. And that's the same concept when it comes to bracing and breathing when you're doing a compound movement such as this. So this is actually working my core a lot. Even with that belt on, the back squat is really working my core. If my core is really strong and I don't fold in the middle, then it doesn't really matter how strong my legs are. Because when I jump into a leg press machine, which I'll demonstrate later, I'm able to rep out a lot of reps, as do most average humans, because the legs are very strong. You walk around on them all day. They are very strong implements. But when you get underneath a back squat, it's not the legs that you're going to be working out, even though they are getting tired under that pressure. It's actually your core, because the stronger that your core is, then it's more likely you're going to be able to get out of that hole, because you're able to actually brace and balance that bar on your back, and you're not going to be able to feel like that lack of pressure is going to make it collapse like that soda can, like I was discussing earlier. So although the back squat is an excellent leg exercise to do, you have to remember that it's a compound movement. So your core and all your other little muscles in your body are actually getting a really good workout as well. So don't discount them as you're doing the back squat. Those are very important to work out as well. Now I'm coming up to my top set for the day because I did some heavy lifting throughout the week. So now I'm kind of starting over in my leg pressing. So I'm going to be doing 365 pounds, and I'm mainly just going to see how this moves. And the idea is I just want to make sure that I'm going just a little bit below depth, that I'm using good technique, and that I'm able to breathe and brace properly, as I've been discussing earlier. And I must say that I am kind of happy how this was going. It did feel a lot heavier than it normally did. And that's just because of the fatigue that I've been feeling from all the heavy lifting I've been doing lately. And even though this moved very, very, very slow, I still was able to get it up there. And that's kind of where I'm at in my progression right now. So I'm good with that, because I don't want to compare myself to other people. I want to make sure that I'm doing what I need to do in the gym. And if I'm feeling a little bit fatigued like I am on this day, I need to dial it back and just work with what I got. Now for the variation giants that I was doing 3 rounds, and I was doing the leg press machine as we were discussing earlier. And I'm setting my feet out wide because that's my squat stance. The idea was to do a 6 rep max up to 4 plates, and to make sure that I'm getting all the way down to depth. And even on the leg press machine, I'm able to practice that breathing and bracing as I'm going up in weight, and making sure that I'm getting that flexibility at the bottom of it. If you wanted to work your deadlift, you could put your feet a lot more narrower, which is a great concept for the leg press machine. It's very universal. But today I'm just trying to make sure that I'm focusing on the back squat. So 4 plates all the way down to the depth, all the way down to where that machine goes, was perfect for me. And I kind of felt like that I was getting a really good leg pump out of it, and I was still working on my breathing and bracing, because it still takes a lot of effort like that to move this big implement. And in between, as I was going up in weight, I was continuing to still do those ring pull-ups as I was doing for my strength giant set. And I was also doing the weighted ab mat sit-up as well. Just to keep everything a nice, easy number, I want to make sure that I'm doing everything cohesively at the end. Now for the assistance giant set, I was doing 3 rounds. And I would start off with doing the right leg on the leg extension, then switch to my left leg. And I was doing 10 reps on both the right and the left. And then I would switch to both legs. And I did 3 rounds of this just to try to make sure I was getting a good pump in the legs with light weight. And that did not disappoint me. That definitely hurt. For the accessory giant set, I was doing 3 rounds. I was working up to a 10 rep max with the easy cable bar, just doing some bicep curls. Then I do some flutter kicks as well. And then I move over to the rowing machine, and I would finish off right there. And that was the total workout for the day. And I really appreciate everybody stopping by and watching me torture myself. And I'll see you next time. Thanks.